There we are. So we're all ready to go. Let's have a look. So the plan today is just another test stream, and it is going to be working on a private project I've been working on for a while, set in some of my fantasy worlds. It's a city map known as Valeska. Kind of inspired by my need to improve upon some ideas that I got after watching Wish and some of the kind of elements I love from, well, games I used to play. So let's take a look. There we are. You know what I have just forgotten? My actual drawing pad. I will be right back. And there we are. I am back. And this time I actually have the drawing pad. So, this is just mostly going to be I mean, it's a test stream. Actually, I should probably see how I can change the titles on Twitch. Because at the moment, I'm pretty sure this just says test. Oopsie. Oh well. Do. Let's see. Here we are. Oh, I can edit the stream info here. Oh, a category. Uh, art. Is art stream there? Here we go. Aha. Oh, that's cool. So I can do this all from my phone. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, I'll try and keep track of that. There we are. So here we are. So this is the progress I've been making on it so far in my kind of personal time. It's had a lot of. I don't really do well with layers. I often just keep adding and adding, and then eventually I'll find them sort of thing. Let's have a look. Where did I leave off? Ah, yeah, over here. Uh, trying to multitask is kind of not used to that yet. Now, where was I? I had this, yeah. So this is the outer city slash kind of when it turns from the city limit to fields. Because every city state, especially fantasy ones, need their fields to keep the population alive. And it helps with trade. Let's see now. I was using a pen. But is this the right size? No, it is not. I think was this the right size? I think that was the right size. Perfect. So here we go. Is it all still working? I believe so. That's good. So with a lot of these we've been doing basic lines. I could probably add a cottage for this one. Or maybe a barn. It'd be nice to separate it with maybe some animals. Okay, I'll do that then. Let's try that. So maybe if I separate it. So the farmhouse could maybe some gables could be here. And what we can do is have some little textures of hay. Maybe a pond as well. I know they like to have kind of water reservoirs on a lot of these kind of farms, especially when the fields don't soak up a lot of water from the rain. What we can do is that. Here we go. Now I might add just a little outhouse building here. What we can do is maybe around here we can cut off the border, maybe match up here. Maybe that could work. That could work. If I perhaps build the barn house around here, because I feel like it makes sense to have it so it has kind of one route by the path or country lane, and then kind of an entrance this way as well, where it kind of let's fix that up. Because what we can do is that, have that so that ends there, and then have it so it kind of connects up there. Perfect. Now I'm just going to close the door because I have a feeling dinner's being prepared. Here we are. See, a lot of the designs that really inspire me are definitely like traditional, like I think recently, especially Freerun, that's it. I know a lot of people like Dungeon Meshi right now as well. I couldn't get into it. I really hate saying it, but I couldn't get into it as much. I think I will eventually, but I think Freerun, I recently watched Lodos War, and I hear that Witch Hat Atelier is coming out soon, which is another kind of. I feel like all these kind of have grand adventures, yet they don't hold back from having the cozy fantasy which people like the small moments with the characters. A lot of time, I think that's sometimes the best way to do fantasy at the moment. It's reminiscent of I think D&D or tabletop RPGs because you have a lot of moments with the characters where, despite the fact you're on a grand adventure, a lot of it comes back down to the players interacting with each other. So what I can do here is maybe I could add a little tree. Now, I don't know if they'd have this many trees around this, but near where I live, there's a kind of area of public walkway where they have this kind of amalgamation of trees and bushes just where the fields naturally run off, and it's like that one section is just a natural kind of bog area. So I feel like that's quite a nice thing to include. Hmm. What I might do is have this go across in circle. And then what we can do is have maybe the house round here, maybe? Hmm. Or maybe I'll put it here. Might put it here then. I don't really want this to be as a big house per se, but we do have some richer farmers in this kind of fantasy setting. So I could put this here with like a little outback bit here. And then what we can do is have a little fence, kind of separate. So then the characters feel like they're not just part of the farmyard. Also helps if there's actual animals here that it keeps them safe. So what I'll do is place maybe another pen or barn. Hmm. Maybe I could do a little path over to here, maybe. Oh, I could put a little well. That'd be a good idea. And then what we can do is add a little fence going along here. So then it just helps separate this. So it feels like the animals are at least kept separate. And what I can put here is just some nice little object texturing. And then here, I can have it so maybe the animals are also maybe here as well. And maybe some other trees, just because we've got some nice trees here. And what we can do is have a nice little path that kind of leads over to here. And then this one can be maybe like the style of like hedging that you get with fruit trees or grapes, where it's these kind of straight lines. There we are. So the next bit would probably be this area here. So I suppose I should decide whether I want this to continue having fields or whether I want this to eventually disperse into Greenland. Because I like the idea of this bit being Greenland, but maybe not this. So maybe if I add some more trees here, maybe a little house. Have some more of these tiny houses kind of dotted along the paths. It's a bit wonky. Da da da. There we go. And have that circus there. Could have its own little, maybe a little house here as well. Because not everyone is going to live within the city walls, since the idea behind this is that this is kind of the only solid state power here. Everything else outside it is more nomadic peoples or small settlements of villages who run themselves, and they want to stay that way. This is kind of the edge of a mountain, so maybe some more here. And then what I could do is maybe have one here. Since we don't just want fencing here. We want like the kind of natural divide you get in a lot of the fields in Britain, which is very much made up of hedgerows and ditches. So if we can kind of mimic those together, it means we'll hopefully end up with at least a more natural look of dividing fields. So what I can do here is the texturing we've done kind of before on some of the others, where it's just kind of these squiggly lines, since a lot of these fields are not the main focus, but collectively all together with all the different shapes and the way they go, it should hopefully give the impression of these fields that kind of stretch around. Maybe another pond, natural, like a natural water. Hmm. It feels blank, but I know that's just my mind going, ooh, you could fit stuff in. I think that'll be nice because that'll help with the separation. So maybe if I move over here now. See, that's another kind of route out of town. So if I do the path that kind of goes out, and what we can do, maybe to there, and then we could just do the texturing of tilled fields. Once again, resist the urge to put something there. Since originally this was only going to be where that wall leads. And then as I was going through, I was like, no, I want this to be bigger because many cities, I feel like, have outstretched their original wall boundaries over the centuries. So to have that is quite nice. So that hence the kind of lesser outer wall, which is good, really. You want to feel safe if you're living in a fantasy setting, just like anyone. Then house here. Little well. Nice little trees. Tree bunches. Now, let's see. So this could be another field here. So with this one, we could put the house here, little extension, once again, little well, and finally, maybe I could have it so it kind of twists around and goes around here. Since this is a cliff face here, just put that. Da, 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 da. There we are. Wee woo, wee woo. Let's see. It's looking good. Ooh, goodness. Hmm. So, I could either continue fields or I could continue around the other side of the outskirts. I'm tempted by the outskirts, but I will complete that last field. Now, where this is kind of the more temple richer district here and here, unlike this area where it's more and more jumbled, I feel like they would have fewer houses and maybe more fields. Ooh. Hmm. Let's have a look. So, where does that new outer wall end? It ends over here. So what I can do is put that there. Maybe I can put it so it goes through the roof there, maybe. See, the thing is, when it comes to maps, I feel like I could do this for years. It's a bit like animation for me. I just love doing it. Though I will say my only problem is that I often end up just going into silence because I'm so focused on it all. There we are. I'll add some little bushes of trees. So with this, I could have it so there's a path that goes around the wall bit here. Oh goodness. Oh, someday I'll be able to do. Someday I hope I can use these locations in some writing or animation. Maybe some D&D. Maybe. I've only just started DMing recently, and one of the things that I've been wanting to do for ages is do a kind of more cozy fantasy while still having the adventure. And I found Call of the Neverdeep has been such a great hit for the players that I'm friends with. I changed out some with that kind of concept of Call of the Neverdeep. They have a whole rival system, and I changed out some of the rivals for completely new characters who fit with their backstories. And I'm gonna wait and see, but so far it's going well. One of them changed into a frog while trying to do the final water challenge. So they obviously streamlined it. I wasn't expecting them to use animal form, and there's nothing in the book that says they couldn't do it either. So it was very much whatever, do whatever it takes to win, and they did. I do love it. My concept when creating this was kind of the idea of what if there was a location where um Jin exist, but not as the main population, just as concepts and culture. So like when when Jin fall from the sky, I came up with this world law where it was like Jin exist in kind of space with their god, and they occasionally fall to Earth and become genies by going on this kind of to help. They're often called down like to help someone achieve their wish or their desire. And in the process, they also learn of their own desires or their own self. And that's kind of exploration journey is for, so it works in both ways for both parties. And it's often their own god that sends them on these little kind of quests. Let's see. So this one will probably do long ways. I find that by doing them kind of opposite to the ones next to them or near them, it helps create this more believable and interesting look of fields. Because when you look at them from the sky, I found that many of them go all different directions and different colors, and it really helps catch the eye better. Let's see. Oh, if I do that there, and goes round. Perfect. Now something tells me I was meant to do that. Yeah, that will look good. Hmm. Maybe if I put this here like that. Let's go get that. Hmm. So push that up. Have it so then this one kind of scrolls round. Then its own little pathway. Maybe I could. Now, do I do that as fields or more houses? Maybe I'll do this bit as more houses, just so then it feels like they're eventually going to outgrow this land. So what we can do is, yeah, maybe we could put one here. Then maybe a gap here. Then maybe have that so that goes up. And then maybe a tower here. Maybe that. Hmm. Okay. Let's see. Now, what I need to do is click here and just get rid of that for a second, just so I can focus on actually. There we are. Oh, this is actually starting to look quite good. Hmm. Do I add another field? Maybe I'll add another field. We'll see how that goes. Aha, so this bit would have a bit of tree forest. So it's the path splits two ways. So if we have it so we follow this way for a moment. I see. So this goes here. We could probably fit another one or two teeny houses. Lol. Here we go. Maybe a little well here. Maybe one other house here, maybe. There we are. Okay, so I think what we'll do is we'll finish this up here now. Since it's been 1 hour, and since this is still technically a test rehearsal for anything, until I figure it all out, I suppose this is it. So let me just press here. Okay. Okay then, so if you do end up seeing this in any kind of format, I suppose especially if it's from if I upload any of this to YouTube, thank you for watching and maybe see you another time.